All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you, just like me. So, opening night of the stadium tour, and what could go wrong, right? Get this, all right? I had to read this a couple of times because I'm thinking, did Tommy Lee fall off the riser? Did he impale himself with a drumstick? I mean, how did this happen, right? So, Tommy Lee, the drummer for Motley Crue, apparently had broken ribs before he took the stage in Atlanta, Georgia. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. So because there's so much hype surrounding this tour, my guess is that they didn't want to tell anybody about this, And I don't understand how he breaks ribs. I mean, look, the contracts that they write for this basically require sheltering in place prior to the show. And I would say, avoid sharp, shiny objects, avoid handling anything that could be toxic to your body, or be careful because lots of money is at stake. And if you don't fulfill the contract the way it's written, and that's probably why he had to take the stage, I don't know. Or he's just trying to do, a PR stunt like, hey, look how tough we are. We are playing through the pain. I powered through a number of songs before I handed the drumsticks over to Tommy Kufertos. I don't know, I'm probably saying his name wrong. Tommy Clufitos. Okay. The other Tommy, the second Tommy, has worked with both Ozzy and Black Sabbath. So that was choreographed, right? Based on this opening night thing, I would probably have a backup band who can show up at the stadium tour and fill in for any of the other bands. Say, Poison can't perform for whatever reason. Joan Jett has a hangnail and she says, you know what? I don't want to go on tonight. You should have a backup. You should have a band in waiting, like a relief pitcher, Hey, and we didn't even hear about, no mention here of Vince Neil, right? Everybody was worried about Vince Neil. How did Vince Neil look? Did he lose weight? Was he in good shape? How did his voice sound? Nope. All of this is about Tommy Lee. Convenient, right? I think it's kind of a convenient way to, shift the attention away from someone who might be struggling. And I don't know, maybe Vince had a great night last night. Tommy Lee was pumped. This is what he said. We did it. You did it. We did it. We're effing here, Lee told the crowd. 2.5 years. Okay, well, anyway, what I've got to tell you is about 14 days ago, I broke not one. I'm leaving some of the F adjectives out of this, by the way. I broke not one, not two, not three, but 4 bleeping ribs right here. And he must be pointing at that point to where the ribs are. He says, I wish I had a badass story like me and Conor McGregor scrapping it out in some bar or something. But I don't, he continued. And I dropped how many F-bombs from this? Not that I dropped them, but I actually 1, 2, 3. So I eliminated 3 of the F-bombs. Anyway, I hope you guys have a bleeping great time. And my boy Tommy Clufitos back here, he's going to help me get through this because the doctors told me, no playing, bro. No playing. And I was like, are you bleeping high, bro? We've got a bleeping tour to do. So anyway, I ain't bleeping sitting out for this ass. My boy's going to help me out here. See, if you need a translator, you need to watch that Tommy Lee, Pam Anderson documentary or whatever that is, the soft porn thing. Or you can go over to maybe Netflix and watch The Dirt. I don't have any of these subscriptions anymore because I'm just fed up with all of these stupid streaming channels. But anyway, he says, on with the GD show. So if you weren't, freaked out by all the F-bombs and stuff, look, here's the thing. I get it. This is Motley Crue. This is how they talk. This is the era they come from, where I guess there's just no respect for English anymore as a language. It's just, we're gonna show how cool and tough we are, because we're just gonna say all of these, awesome adjectives to describe the situation, and we're gonna totally get the fans on our side. Look at what we're doing here. The doctor says you need rest and healing. He says, I've been resting and healing, even though the doctor tells me I shouldn't play at all. I'm stubborn, and I'll beast through the pain every show for as many songs. Oh, so here, so you can look forward to this in upcoming stadium tour shows. And Tommy Lee's going to get up there and power through, half a set, or how many songs that he can do. And then his, cohort in crime here, Tommy Clufidos, will get up there and he'll fill in. So you get the two Tommies, and maybe Tommy Lee will just hang around, walk around the stage. Maybe they'll put him in a chair, kind of like Phil Collins. He can sit down. Oh man, Tommy Lee is Phil Collins. Give him a microphone. Maybe he can help Vince Neil sing. Look, folks, I'm not saying this is because of the geriatric nature of these bands hitting a certain age and then, well, I just broke a bunch of ribs. And of course, they're trying to kind of ignore the fact that they're not as young as they used to be. But in this case, this is just, it's publicity. That's what this is. This is a giant, interesting publicity stunt. No, I'm not saying he broke his ribs on purpose, but I'm sure when it happened, they're like, hey, we can use this. It'll be all right. Just get up there for a few songs. The fans will love the fact that you're toughing it out. This isn't like other rock bands that wimp out at stuff like this. But when the floating particle shows up, right? The floating particle, everything gets canceled. Oh, no, I can't go on stage. I got the thing, man. We need to cancel 14 gigs. Let's cancel a whole month of dates, and they're more worried about that than broken ribs. Seriously. And then you hear, well, it's good that I went to CVS. I really feel pretty good right now, but we're just going to cancel everything. Nobody seems to think that is weird, right? We're going to cancel everything. And you could just bring one guy in rather than a whole band. David Lee Roth made this suggestion that you should have replacement players at every position. But this doesn't have to do with reality. What this is about satisfying the contract. It's like, okay, well, you guys said you're going to play. You can't play. Therefore, you lose this amount of money. And if you do it again, you'll probably lose even more money, right? And it just keeps going down. And if they have to cancel again after 2.5 years, people are just going to start giving up on this. And quite honestly, in my brain, I've already given up on the concert industry, because if you're going to run a business like this and you're not basing your business on the reality of the situation, instead you're listening to so-called experts who have no idea at this point what they're saying, what they're talking about. I mean, they've backtracked and pedaled in so many different directions that it's comical now. And you can pick apart all of these things, all of these cancellations. You're like, okay, why cancel a whole month? Well, I know what. Why don't you have the fans? This is what you ought to do. Have the fans sign a waiver when they walk in. Have them sign a waiver saying, I'm coming in knowing the risks of being here with all of these people and the band and so forth and the flying particles that are floating around. I accept that. And for my acceptance, I get a free t-shirt and a 50% discount on my ticket. Let's watch the show, right? Something like that. And problem solved, but we're living in the new normal. It's just so exciting. So how did I go from Tommy Lee and the broken ribs to that? Well, I don't know. It's my brain. It's the way it's working today. Tommy Lee, we wish you a speedy recovery, or we wish you, to keep those ribs broken so you can go out there again and power through a bunch of songs and then tell everybody that you're going to keep doing this show after show, even though the doctor tells you to rest and to heal. Yeah, if I had broken ribs, I don't think I'd be playing drums. Just throwing it out there. I mean, I'll ask a couple of drummers, since I know a couple of drummers, I'll say, hey, would you play with broken ribs? Or is it possible to play drums with broken ribs? That's another question. Because then, we can start this rumor about, drummers playing with broken ribs, that it's not possible. And he's making this stuff up. And why would, but if it was a number of weeks ago, maybe the healing process started. But why would you want to stop the healing process? Why not sit a few of these shows out and then do a test run? Try to get up there and perform for like a half hour and see how you feel. If you feel good, then you can keep doing it. My guess is drumming and broken ribs just don't go together. It's like ripping the scab off, and then doing it over and over again. It's just not a good situation, and you have to just let what needs to heal. And that, for some people, is really tough. It's tough to do. In this case, you got money, you've got publicity, you've got a documentary, and you've got, Netflix, whatever that was, where it was a bunch of episodes. So it was like a series. So a lot of money is riding on this. And I'm sure people are going to be even more interested now. I'm going to buy tickets so I could see Tommy Lee play drums with broken ribs. I don't know, people. It's interesting, though. This is interesting. This is the world we're living in, where some things over here get canceled immediately, and somebody over here is going to go play drums with broken ribs. It just seems like a dichotomy to me. Maybe I'm missing something.